Hi everyone, and welcome to week 2 of Introduction to Qigong Healing. So we had a few interesting questions come in during the week, which is great. Some great insights and observations as well. There was a little bit of discussion during the week on the Facebook group as well that I've set up. Most of you are in there, I know. If you're not, great if you can join. If you don't use Facebook or something, that's fine as well. I'll make sure that you get at least the highlights of anything that was discussed in these weekly emails as well. Now, one of the things that came up several times in different places was about the direction of circles and what this does to your energy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and demonstrate a little bit about that now. So often when people talk about circles, they, in relationship to energy, or circles or spirals, they talk about just clockwise or anti-clockwise. And there is a major clockwise, anti-clockwise pattern within the body, but it's not the only pattern that affects the activation or relaxation, right? It's a specific pattern, one that's general enough that it carries through the whole body, but there are other patterns that also influence this that can make things more yin or more yang, not in a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. And you need to have subtlety of awareness and understanding to be able to recognize this. And now it seems like for several of you, you experimented with this during the week because you had parts that were feeling overactive or underactive and things like that, and so you tried circling in different ways, and that's awesome. In the end, that's your true guide. It helps to understand the theory, of course, but in the end you want to be able to experience for yourself, and this is really the key as you move into your Qigong healing practice as well. Theory, but to really be effective, you need to experience. You need to know what's actually there. It's like the difference between a roadmap and what's actually there. You might have that roadmap and it says there's this and this and this, but then if someone goes through and does some roadworks and no one's updated the roadmap, you wouldn't want to be driving just according to the map. You'd want to have your eyes on what's actually there on the road, and this is it as well. Where the meridians go, everything you want to actually experience, because there are many things that actually change those, and we need to be able to experience things rather than just trust the map. So okay, onto that circling and spiraling. So the general pattern, and this specifically relates to the Dantian, that's clockwise, anti-clockwise, is clockwise is going to be activating. So this is up the right, across the left, across the top, down the left, up the right, across, down the left. This is going to be activating. Going the other way, up the left, across, down the right, is going to be relaxing. So yang and yin. But there are other things that go on in other parts of our body which can have a competing or overlapping function. I'm not going to go into too much detail about why that is. It's to do with the layout of the organs and activity in the organs and so on, what sets up that pattern. But other parts of the body, things can be different, and so then we have inwards and outwards and forwards and backwards, which also relate to yin and yang. So in general, so for example on the temples, forwards is going to be activating and yang, backwards is going to be relaxing yin. Now that's fine on the right hand side. On the left hand side, in terms of clockwise and anti-clockwise, on the left hand side, when I go forwards, that's activating yin yang, but it's actually anti-clockwise. Backwards is going to be relaxing. Hopefully that makes sense. Same thing on your hands and on your feet. You have inwards and you have outwards. These overlay that general clockwise, anti-clockwise. And even though they're opposite directions to each other, because of their relationship until the movement of the body, one is more yin, one is more yang. So I thought that was really good that people noticed this and brought it up to ask, talk about, discuss, and so on, and so that people can look at that a bit more deeply. Again, I encourage you to experiment with it. That's sort of the general pattern. On the hands and feet, inwards is going to generally be more active, outwards is going to be more relaxing. understand those general principles, that will act as a guide, but then experiencing what's going on, what's actually going on, and feel for yourself, and then it becomes instinctive. Yeah. Something else that also came up that I thought was interesting and worthwhile to talk about was, again, a few people asked some things relating to yin and to yang, and this is something to really delve into understanding as well. And the key is to experience and actually work with what's there, because so often people can get call something yin and yang and vice versa and have it completely flipped over. But if you're actually paying attention to what's going on, no issues. Doesn't matter what you call it, you know what's happening. But one of the contexts that this came up with was someone in terms of clearing energy from their body, being overactive with energy and clearing it. Now, this is an aspect of yin and yang that people often get wrong on a superficial level. They think, okay, everything is more active, therefore I need more yin. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes that is not the case. Sometimes when you have things that are overactive, I hope that wind is still allowing you to hear me okay. Sometimes when you have things that are overactive, what it is energy has become stuck in the body. I'm going to pause for a moment in case you can't hear me with that wind. Don't know if you can see it, but it's really blowing. This is normally a sheltered spot. Anyway, okay, I think we're good. So, yeah. So sometimes, energy is stuck in the body, and sometimes a way to remedy that is to bring in yin to soothe and calm. Other times though, what you need is to actually activate to release the energy that is stuck. You actually need to activate it further as a way to help it to come out and be released. And so it's not always yin to counter yang. Sometimes it's yang to release the yang. We use this principle in lots of ways, and again it fits into the cycle of yang to yin, yin to yang. Sometimes to get it out of a heavy yang phase, you push it to the end of the yang phase and out the other side. You will have seen this if you've done the Release the Power of Your Breath course and the breathing stimulation. We use that as a way to go all the way through the cycle. If you've done the Waking the Chi, energy often gets stuck in the head or in the shoulders, and so what we do is we lift the energy up, lift it up, so that when we descend it, it can descend out more effectively. Another place where we see this as a sort of outside of Qigong is if you've heard of drinking a hot drink on a summer's day actually being useful for cooling down. So the benefit of this is that, and so, a herb tea or whatever it might be, is that if you drink a cold drink on a hot day, if you have heat stuck inside you, the cold drink causes you to close up and you keep the heat inside you. If you drink a warm drink on a hot day, it helps the pores to open. If it's the right kind of drink, it also helps to thin the blood, but the pores open, and then the heat that's inside you is more easily released. So there's these more subtle aspects of dealing with the energy of yin and yang as well. Anyway, I think that was all I needed to discuss in some more detail in this video. Hopefully that's been useful to you. This week we're moving on to what should be simple for all of you, because you've all done these practices before, but we're having a week of focusing on and going through the full cycle of the energy that we're going to be working on in this course. So the working through from the Dantian, the energy field, the rain, and then the organ meridians. And so getting this all very active within us, turning our attention to it within us so that we have that flowing in a strong, healthy way and our attention tuned into it, because this is going to feed into our healing practice, both on ourselves and on others. So I hope you enjoy that nice, easy, familiar practice this week. And I look forward to hearing from you at the end of the week with your progress reports and any questions that you may have.